Also bring in defense attorney Misty Marris. And Misty, 3 hours essentially, three and a half hours of deliberations total over 2 days. What's your reaction to this?
Once I heard that the verdict was in, I suspected it was going to be guilty. Keep in mind, the prosecutor's case, the charges themselves, very, very technical. And prosecutors made the argument, do not leave your common sense at the door. You're looking at all of this evidence of drug use during this time, the critical time frame, October 2018. Now, that's not to say the defense didn't raise very, very clever arguments to really poke holes in that. But the jury obviously went with the prosecution's case and turned around very quickly. We were actually here just last hour saying, well, we don't really expect anything till this afternoon. So it seems that the jurors were pretty much on the same page. There's not too much deliberation here, and came back with the guilty verdict.
We understand that the First Lady, Jill Biden, has just recently entered the courthouse. And so, Misty, what's the process right now? And there we have these images of her heading right into the courthouse. Misty, so what's the process right now for Hunter Biden as we speak inside that courtroom?
So as of now, it's not likely that he's going to be taken into custody or anything like that. What's going to happen is there's going to be a sentencing hearing. It will be scheduled down the road. And in the interim, both sides, the prosecution and defense, will submit briefs that will basically present the arguments as to what the penalty should be for that sentencing phase. So again, we're talking about a case that's not typically charged, where the gun was not used in any other crimes, where this was not a case of felon in possession. That's where you usually see these charges. We're also talking about something that happened in 2018, and there's not a violent history in between. So all of those factors go and are taken into account as to whether or not the defendant, in this case Hunter Biden, is actually taken into custody in the interim or released on their own recognizance, which is what I would expect to happen here. And then the pathway to the sentencing hearing will begin.
Yeah. Chuck, sorry to interrupt you. We're just watching these live pictures of Hunter Biden, actually, I think, with the First Lady and Hunter Biden's current wife, heading into this, SUV. So I'm just wondering, and maybe, I don't know, Misty, he's out.
Right, absolutely. So the question was, would the judge remand him until sentencing? And as predicted, that was not the case. Under these circumstances, it would be unlikely. And again, focusing on other cases that have similar types of charges. Well, there aren't many, because these charges alone are often not brought in isolation without something more. Another point of focus, we're talking about the year 2018. It's now 2024. If you had somebody who had a criminal history in the interim, well, yes, being remanded would be a different story. But in this case, this was the likely outcome. Now, the judge likely read some instructions, said you'll have to return for the sentencing. Sentencing will be scheduled down the road. And so, of course, it's a conditional release, meaning that the defendant is obligated to come back for that hearing. But no surprise here that the judge chose not to remand Hunter Biden, meaning that he was taken into custody and would be in jail in the interim from this point to sentencing. This was the likely outcome, that he would be released with those conditions that he return at the given time.
Because, there have been instances throughout the world, and, Brazil with Lula da Silva, et cetera, where presidents or former presidents have been sent to prison. But it's the unique, almost unique nature of the trial by jury in the United States. Not unique that there are trial by juries in other countries, the UK, Canada, et cetera, but it's the unique aspect of the profundity of who can have access to trials by jury. And that's so unusual in so many ways. And I'm just thinking, Misty, you deal with that every single day in your career, the importance of trial by jury.
The importance of trial by jury, that a jury of your peers is going to make a determination. They're going to take the evidence that's in the courtroom, nothing outside of that, and apply the law. It's not left to a single individual to determine someone's fate. It is a jury of your peers, and it is the system that ensures justice for all, no matter who you are.
Yeah, and again, you can see that in other countries, but the level in which in this country one has the right to have a trial by jury is just so unique, and it's so special. And